You're live.
All right, we are live. So, welcome everybody to another protest outside of Community Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired, located at 2453 Grand Canal Boulevard, Stockton, California 95207. If you're out in the local area and would like to come and lend your voice, feel free. Sorry for the shaking. I need to get my phone connected to a power source because it is on its way to death. So let me see here. Okay, and we'll be getting started here momentarily. What shit is this? Okay, I think that's charging. So we're good. Just getting everything all situated here. But we're out here. Today marks 8 months of protesting outside of this organization here, whose mission statement says that they are to help support the growth of the blind community. Their mission statement says a lot, but they don't live up to it, and they haven't lived up to it for decades now. And so we are out here, many former clients and supporters out here in this area to raise our voices because there has been a great deal of effort made to try to resolve the issues here privately. But after all of that time, I finally had to come out public to protest the ongoings at this place that grossly mistreats its clients and staff. So, if you're here with us today, virtually or in person, feel free to lend your voice. The goal has never been to have this place closed down, but rather to provoke positive change. And so we will be getting started here pretty soon. And be good to go. And we are live, folks.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How's my volume?
Oh, it's great.
Perfect. Thank you to everyone who supported us and was kind enough to donate a new bullhorn to make sure we're heard, even though we're continually ignored.
That's right.
We are not invisible. We will not be denied access to a center for the blind anymore. We will not be denied having our grievances heard and addressed by a board and an administration that purports to serve the blind.
That's right.
We are Stockton Blind Alliance. We are many members, friends, family, community supporters, allies, and volunteers. We have members of the NFB. We have members that have been harmed by this place for years. We are standing up for Bob and other staff that have been tortured by this place. Today is my 6-year anniversary of quitting this hellhole.
Congratulations!
Yep. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Unfortunately, this is our 8-month anniversary of weekly public protests in front of a building that continues to disregard, disrespect, and provide disservice to the blind. We invited the board of directors to reach out and address concerns. They are supposed to be meeting from noon to 1 today. We are here. We have sent them an email inviting them to update us to actually address concerns. We want to make sure all members know about our petition, about the concern of the 578 signers to date, that they listen to, work with, and incorporate the blind in making this place healthy again. Because right now, the leadership needs to go.
That's right.
The environment is toxic, and the blind are not welcomed or included in any way at this center.
Correct.
If you want to reach out to us, you can reach us at 209-200-8589. Stockton Blind Alliance at gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. You can find more of our stories and concerns. You can share your own. Help us with your advocacy or benefit from ours as you try to find a better way for the blindest in the greater San Joaquin County area.
That's right.
Good, Jen. You can hear the echo. It's really loud. Oh, I bet everybody we can hear it, right?
Oh, it's a great megaphone.
Great. Thanks, Joe. Thank you.
Oh, Jennifer, someone's calling for you.
Who's calling me?
It's on. It's on.
What do you mean?
He said my megaphone's so loud, but mine's on mine.
No, Bob said something.
Yeah, it sounded like someone was calling for you down this way.
Foot traffic on the sidewalk.
Oh, Raphael.
Oh,
I think he's talking about Raphael.
he's calling me?
Good morning.
Jennifer.
Yes.
Mario.
Oh.
Hi, Mario. How
Hi,
are you?
Mario. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Bob.
Bob.
Let's shake your hand there.
Mario Zarate.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. I'm part of you guys' alliance too. Trust me, I'm going to go in there and start some crap replacement.
You okay to be on camera? Because I'm live streaming this out to multiple platforms right now. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Absolutely.
So this is Mario, another member.
Come over and say hello.
I'll be happy to be on
I'm coming toward you, hon.
You'll be happy to be on camera?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I got stuff.
Yeah, I've got this streaming out to multiple YouTube channels and Twitter accounts and Facebook and stuff. So
Good.
Good. I heard everything you said. It's God's truth.
We just got a new bullhorn, so it's nice and loud. Rechargeable, records and replays too.
Good. You guys keep it up. I'm going to go in there and see what I can figure out. I'm going to text you if I see something or know something.
Okay.
And just
Have
look
a
on the
great
phone. Give me a
class.
few minutes, okay? Give me a
Okay.
few minutes, and I'll let you guys know what's up in there.
Thank
But
you.
Keep it up in there, and if they sit there and say, "What's going on?" I'm gonna let them know, "Hey, what the hell's going on?"
So they're letting you in the meeting?
If they don't, I mean, just come in there.
Okay, I'm filming you right now. What's your name?
Mario Zarate.
Okay, Mario. Right on, man.
So
Nice to
Yeah,
meet
they
you.
should be out here inviting.
They should.
Selected
that's the
voters
thing.
to go with
You
them.
see,
You're good.
the
I'll
thing-
keep it away
the
from
thing-
your direction. You're okay.
The thing is that
Oh, gotcha.
if I go in there,
I'll keep
my
mine away
question
from your
is gonna
direction.
be pretty simple.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that,
why.
why can't?
That's why I like being on this
What's
side of the
going
camera.
on out here? Why is there protesting when there should be some sort of?
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Why
Me too.
they're protesting? Because there's not exactly what this is.
I know why.
Grievance resolution process in place.
But you see,
If there was a process, people would not be boycotting out here. They would be in their seat in the board meetings, having input on the issues that they're complaining about.
right.
But they have not been once
No.
invited in the last 8 months to enter that building, sit with the board, and say their piece. Because this would be unnecessary.
Correct.
They would not be out here.
These guys don't want to break any bread with you guys.
They
don't.
don't.
With us, I
They
should
don't.
say.
Correct.
Not you guys, us.
The
And
very people that they're serving
Right.
are excluded. They're alienated. They're not welcome.
Right.
And they don't want to hear what they have to say.
Correct.
They think that they're mindless, ignorant, and unable to be independent and do for themselves. But I see right here very independent individuals who know what they want, who know what they've gone through. In the last 8 months, they've been totally excluded from this process.
Yes.
Now, I believe the founder of this center that was sold without notification to the clientele here,
Yeah.
the founder meant for them to be included, period. A part of everything that's going on.
Agreed.
So, do you need a witness with you? Or are you going to go in there and ask for a recording in the meeting? Let us know.
I'm gonna let you guys know.
Okay,
So as
sounds
soon,
good.
like I said, I have contact number from Jennifer. And as soon as
Yeah.
I hear something or know something, either way, I'm gonna let her know.
Oh, good.
So just give me a few. I'm gonna walk in there right now.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Mario.
Keep it loud.
Keep it loud.
Thank
Keep
you,
it
Mario.
loud.
Thank you, brother.
She's coming to you.
Much appreciated. I'll keep you off. I promise.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Are you camera shy?
Raphael, if I get in your way, just let me know.
If it vibrates or something, I'll check.
All right. It's time for change.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
8 months, and I'm the one who has poor communication skills.
We are asking the administration, we are asking the board of directors to be open,
Be kind and listen to the blind.
Be open. Be kind. And listen to the blind. Be open. Be kind. And listen to the blind. Be open. Be kind. And listen to the blind.
Fix the
Blind center. The blind deserve better.
Fix
The blind center. The blind deserve better. Fix the blind center. The blind deserve better.
Fix
The blind center. The blind deserve better.
Your taxes.
Donations. Support blind degradation. Your taxes. Donations. Support blind degradation. Your taxes. Donations.
Support
Blind degradation.
Your
Taxes. Donations. Support blind degradation.
We are out here because the blind, who are supposed to be served by Community Center for the Blind, feel no sense of community in there. We are
Right.
not welcomed. We are not included, and we are not being served. There is a president and a treasurer for over 13 years that have ignored our concerns, that have turned a deaf ear to the blind, that have enabled the leadership to crush the hopes and dreams of the blind.
That's right.
Have denied access to being represented on the board of directors, that have provided minimal services with money as the primary motivation, with no heart for the blind. We have brought concerns to them repeatedly over the years, and nothing has changed. So they need to change. They need to go. We are calling for the removal of the director, the executive director, who we brought complaints against for years, with her mistreatment of clients, her condescension, her intimidation tactics, and her lack of professionalism.
That's right.
And instead of being disciplined, made to apologize, or fired, she has continually been promoted in this organization to the position of executive director. She has held that as a permanent director for a year, and a few more months than that as the interim. There is no, let her get her footing. We already told you how she was before you put her in this position. We emailed you as the blind of this county expressly asking that she not be put in that position, that we end the pattern of terrible leadership, that you include the input of the blind in the vetting process of a new director. We were ignored, spit on again, literally spit on by the treasurer, screamed at by the treasurer, but ignored in every other way. We have been out here 8 months weekly asking to be heard. So turn up the volume and get the administration out here on the carpet to answer, or off the pier immediately.
That's right. You don't discuss personnel issues, but you have a lot of your registered clients from your, quote, community out on your sidewalk. That's shameful. Come out and answer for it.
They need to answer to that. Bob, you want to bite?
The treasurer said shame, 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 but shame on him, for he's to blame. The treasurer said shame, shame, shame. Shame on him, for he's to blame. The
Treasurer said shame, shame, shame. Shame on him, for he's to blame.
The
Treasurer said shame, shame, shame. Shame on him, for he's to blame.
Blind respect you
Never show. Tell her Rhoda, hit the road. Blind respect you never show. Tell her Rhoda, hit the road. Blind respect you never show. Tell her Rhoda, hit the road. Blind respect you never show. Tell her Rhoda, hit the road.
We want an audit.
Where did the money go? We want an audit. Where did the money go? We want an audit. Where did the money go? We want an audit. Where did the money go?
Tell us where the money went.
We want a new board president. Tell us where the money went. We want a new board president. Tell us where the money went. We want a new board president.
Tell us where the money went.
We want a new board president.
You sold our building secretly, shamefully, over the express protesting and concerns of the blind community. A building that was left to us as a restricted donation by Myrtle Stevens Clark to the housing, serving, and training and support of the blind. You left it abandoned for 4 years, getting broken into by the homeless while you threw away thousands and thousands of dollars a month on this cramped, crappy North Stockton office that is not welcoming or appropriate in any way. We want to know why you sold our building out from under the blind. Why are we homeless out on the sidewalk? Why are the doors locked against the population you purport to serve?
That's right. That's right. You say you're here to serve the blind community, but you slaughter it. You slaughter it in heart and soul with bashing and trashing, demeaning your employees and your clients, talking down. You must be held accountable for what you've done. So come out, grow some fortitude, and speak up for your actions.
You're not even denying it. You just think we'll go away. You think you can intimidate the blind and shut us down. But we are not going away. We have been out here for 8 months. We tried every diplomatic remedy with you prior to that for years. And you just put your little fake words and your little fake actions out there and expect us to go away. Not anymore. Nothing about us without us.
Nothing about us without us. Nothing about us without us. Nothing about us without us.
You drove so many people out of here. There's been a mass exodus of clients and staff. And volunteers. You just chase people away. Good people cannot stand up to what goes on in your building. They are not appreciated. They are not rewarded. And if they spend time trying to serve the blind, that isn't on your priority list. Poor Bob was here 6 months and had to leave. A wonderful job he was doing for our community. He loves serving blind people. He was a wonderful instructor. We are benefiting from his skills here on the outside. Why can't you see your priorities straight?
Because they're blind in the soul.
That's right.
Their eyes are closed.
I left
Correct.
here 6 years ago because my hours were continually cut. I was continually punished, reprimanded, condescended to, used as a human shield and a punching bag because I would not roll over and say yes to the mistreatment of the blind. I would share people's concerns thinking that they should be appropriately addressed, but nobody wanted to hear them. That director, Michelle, quit in October of 2021. That was a good thing, but she was filled by the next worst thing, something that we definitely said was unfit for the office. Why can't you listen to the blind? Why can't you care about the population you want to serve? You say you're a private, independent, nonprofit. You don't have to listen to anyone. You think you're not accountable to anyone. What about the people you have to serve?
They don't have a heart, Jennifer.
That's right.
It's time to show that you have a heart, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's time to make a start.
Show us that you have a heart.
Time to make a start.
Show us that you have a heart. Time to make a start. Show us that you have a heart. Time to make a start. Show us that you have a heart. The lies and slander that have gone out that this group is trying to close this center down when that's the farthest from the truth. All you do is bully, hide, and lie. That's what goes on in there. You told people outside, including my Department of Rehabilitation Council, that I'm not here because of poor communication. I would not go 8 months without communicating with someone when there are people protesting on my sidewalk. I think that's a lot of projection. Elsie Harada, it's time to answer for the actions. It's time for the board to answer for what they've allowed to transpire. It's time for change. No, we don't want the ship to sink. We want a new captain and crew because the blind deserve better. The people of the San Joaquin Valley and surrounding areas deserve a place where they can grow and thrive. But you denied that to them. And you must be held accountable for your actions.
They bully, hide, and lie.
Define CCBVI. They bully, hide, and lie. Define CCBVI.
They bully, hide, and lie. Defund CCBVI. They bully, hide, and lie. Defund CCBVI.
We're standing up for Bob.
They made me quit my job.
We're standing up for Bob.
They made me quit my job.
We're standing up for Bob.
They made me quit my job.
We're standing up for Bob.
They made me quit my job.
They try to get people fired from their jobs just for sharing positive feedback, alternative suggestions, or a little criticism. Because you can only be a yes man to thrive in this environment. That is a toxic environment. It's imploding. If this center closes, it will be because of your arrogance.
That's right.
Your refusal to change. Your refusal to listen to and serve the blind.
It's 2023 now. You would think that people would have progressed, that they would have more empathy and compassion and understanding. But when you have a center whose mission it is to serve and help the blind community to thrive, when it slaughters its own, as I call this place the community slaughterhouse for the blind, when they continue to do this in 2023, still treating their own as though we are incapable and incompetent, when that's the farthest from the case, simply because many of us may not have a master's degree or a doctorate in education. That means nothing. That piece of paper means nothing if you don't have a heart to back it up.
Who knows better what it is to be blind than the people with that actual lived experience? You need to include us on your board of directors, on your advisory panel, which you need to add, because you shut down everybody. It's like a graveyard in there. Nobody can speak up. Nobody feels free to share an alternate opinion. Everybody has to worship at the altar of the director and the board.
That's right.
This is a cult.
Is it a cult that bases its money off of government contracts and fails in many ways to fulfill their obligations? And I doubt their employers will be especially happy. They may not give a shit about the blind, but they do give a shit about the
money they get that they don't deserve because they're
Yep.
wondering.
Just like Ted DiBiase on WWE, all they care about is that money, 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 money.
Money, 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 money.
That's all the primary concern of this place.
You need to include blind representation at every level, blind input at every level. This organization, we need justice, we need equality, we need opportunity, and we need security for the blind of the San Joaquin County area. You are standing in the way of that progress.
That's right.
You are in a downward spiral. You think the community doesn't care. You think you can continue the way it has been. It is not going to continue. We will not go away. We will not be silenced. We are here. We are Stockton Blind Alliance, and we will see things change or a better alternative in San Joaquin County. If this crumbles, it is up to you, administration and board, to turn around before that happens.
That's right. Stop being the poison that's destroying the center from the inside.
The blind center's for the blind, not for the sighted.
Right.
In the building? Or yeah, it's a new client.
Yeah. We're Stockton Blind Alliance. We're standing up
to help the clients. Stockton Blind Alliance.
We're
standing up
to help the clients. Stockton Blind Alliance. We're standing up
to help the clients. Stockton Blind Alliance. We're standing up to help the clients.
The veil needs to drop. The exploitation
has to stop.
The veil needs to drop. The
Exploitation has to stop.
The veil needs to drop.
The exploitation has to stop.
The veil needs to
Drop.
drop.
The exploitation has to stop.
Let the clients grow. Administration has to go.
Let the clients grow. Administration has to go.
Let
The clients grow. Administration has to go.
Let the
clients
clients
grow.
grow.
Administration has to go.
I'll tell you something. When I used to be involved in churches, we used to sing this old hymn that goes, "Holy, holy, holy." Now, that's not about Community Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired, but you treat your door like that veil. And only those who you approve can come through. You pick and choose the yes people or the ones who you use as your cash cows. But that veil does need to drop. And it's time for accountability to be held. We will lift our voices. You may treat us as though we are worthless because we aren't benefiting you. But I'll tell you something. There's no community within those walls. Either change that or take that word off of your sign.
Yeah.
Decided center.
The ignorant center.
Right.
That's right.
Make your money off the blind.
You say the doors are locked. First, you said for client and staff safety, which is allegedly why you moved from downtown.
Correct.
Now you're trying to say it's to keep the protesters out. You're afraid they can come in. We have done nothing but peacefully protest, law-abiding citizens in front of your building, exercising our First Amendment right. But when your treasurer came to scream in my face, spit flying, backing me up against a fire hydrant, he went in and called the police on us.
What was his name?
Roy Patterson.
Roy Patterson.
That's right.
Roy Patterson needs to go. There's been no apology, no acknowledgement of this horrendous incident,
Nothing.
this horrendous treatment of a current client of this organization. You don't come out to address concerns. You come out to sneak by and whisper shame, shame, shame at us. You come and scream in my face to intimidate and shut down clients. Roy Patterson.
Jen.
Roy Patterson.
You need to go.
Just say shame, shame, shame.
Shame, shame,
Shame,
shame.
shame.
The shame's on him.
He's to blame.
That's right.
Yes, the treasurer said shame, shame,
The
shame.
president has been an alternating puppet and instigator and cover-up extraordinaire for this organization for over 13 years. Judy Howe, you need to go.
Judy Howe, you need to
Roy
go.
Patterson
Judy
needs to
Howe,
go.
you
Elsie
need to
Harada
go.
needs to go.
Elsie Harada.
Poison!
That's
You need to
right.
go. They are poison.
Elsie Harada, you need to go.
Hey,
If
Jen.
the rest want to work with us, we will give them a chance. We don't have concerns about the staff at this time. It is the administrators that have been in place, the board that have been in place for years, allowing our concerns to be walled off, just letting the director control the narrative or the board president control the narrative. If you care, you will look beyond that veil and actually listen to the concerns of people that have been abused, that have been driven to tears, that have been sexually harassed, sexually assaulted behind your walls, but you laugh it off.
That's right.
You laugh it off.
You think everybody is a joke to you. They don't bow
There's no
down.
joke to this.
No, there is not. And from being on the inside for that 6 months that I was, and hearing the talk, the staff who love their jobs, who love bettering the lives of the blind community, is underpaid, overworked, and unappreciated. Not just that, but they're slandered and talked behind their backs by the administration. And it's a horrible shame. No professionalism. It's all about the green. It's all about that money. And it's time for that to stop.
You constantly get the at-will policy held over your head because you're disposable. You better get with the program in every way. You better take on all of that micromanaging, all of that extra work, all of that mistreatment, all of that getting thrown under the bus, and be grateful for the crumbs you're given. You know, nonprofit salaries are lower than the private sector, but if you are treated well, if you are respected, if you are trusted to do your job, it makes up for a lot. People will work for less if they have a heart for the mission. Do you have a heart for the blind? Do any of you have a heart for the blind? If you have a conscience, you need to speak up. You can post your comments on our petition page You can find the petition in all of our social media accounts, Stockton Blind Alliance on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. There is enough here to fill many, many books. And imagine how many Braille volumes that would be.
Oh, yes.
I know I started here in 99. Another client and a few staff who had just quit the horrible toxic environment at that time went and barged into a board meeting with me. We were told that director at the time, the president of the board at that time, was going to be director in 6 months. Things might change. We had hope for a moment there in 2003. A few months into his job, he got popped for kiddie porn on his computer.
Wow.
How do you vet these people who are supposed to be serving the blind? We had another director who came and was selling food to the clients that had been gotten from commissary or secondhand sales at the food bank. Donated food, he was selling it to the clients, and this was okay.
What a shame.
It is a total shame. There have been a few bright lights and a few people, but they can't weigh against all that darkness.
Right.
I had to quit in 2017 for my health and so I could reheal and try to get better from the outside, because my people are more important to me. You know, to go down to the poverty level again without a job, it says a lot when people with no good job to go to. Blind people who have a difficult enough time securing employment will quit with no job to go to rather than live in this hellhole you
Currently
created.
there.
You try to get people over a barrel. That's how you like them. You like them dependent. You're supposed to be about independence, but you want people you can control. You want people that will just take it and take and take it as you take and take and take from them.
That's right.
You shut everything down for the pandemic. You did not continue any kind of social or recreational outreach or activities for your clients. Oh, the grant ran out for yoga. It stopped. Not like you couldn't seek another one. You took away our building where we had a backyard and facilities and space and could make noise, and moved into a little office surrounded by law offices where people can't even laugh without being disciplined. You cannot listen to music. How is this a happy place for the blind?
What happened to the bingo?
Yeah, no bingo.
No bingo. No more bingo
for the blind. We're trying
Yeah.
to make them
Yeah, one of our members is senior citizen. I believe she's 84 years old. Her goal is to be back in a healthy, thriving blind center before she passes away. She said she doesn't have much time. She's supposedly the client board representative for this place that would not grant her the simple accommodation request 3 years in a row of being called in for the annual board meeting. What kind of a sham of representation is that? You turned down many of our blind applications to be on the board. What is so harmful about blind input? Why do the people in charge of this organization hate the blind, have a chip on their shoulder, and a grudge against the blind? Why? Because we actually got you to do your job and get rid of an operations manager, Bonnie Hama, who was abusing people for years, stealing from this organization. You covered that all up. You left her in place to abuse us and shred records after hours for months and months until you brought in the new director, Michelle. Michelle, we tried to give a chance to, but she was just Bonnie with a smile, one of her nicknames. A fake smile, a frenetic smile. She's paranoid. She was micromanaging, and no transparency, no accountability. Did I say that? Number one, to question you, will you push the issue? Who said I said that? Now who can I intimidate to shut up for saying it? And if all that doesn't work, well, if I did say it, I didn't mean it that way. You can't take that stuff back.
It's called gaslighting, folks.
Yeah. The crowning accomplishment at one of our fundraiser dinners, she said, we teach people how to brush their teeth and pick up a glass of water.
Oh my gosh.
I think I would have dehydrated by the time I came here if I could not do that. I think I still have all my teeth, Michelle. Can you say the same? The Blind Center went to hell. Look at what you did, Michelle.
Blind Center went to hell. Look at what you did, Michelle.
Blind Center
went to hell.
Look at what you did,
Michelle. Blind
Center went to hell. Look at what you did, Michelle. For
Yes. Alicia wants to read the mission real quick. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You can use mine or just.
You okay to be on camera?
Yes.
All right.
I'd like to review. My name's Alicia Ramirez, parent of a legally blind individual, San Juan Ramirez. I was looking at all the information, feeling like the Blind Center has not lived up to the vision and the mission statement. I think that Myrtle Stevens Clark in 1949 made very clear what the vision and the mission would be for the center when she opened it up. The blind community thank her for her donation and for her long-term vision for a place for the blind community to go to. Her mission statement states in this way: to provide the means by which people who are blind or visually impaired can improve and sustain their capabilities to reestablish purpose and self-esteem in their lives and in the society while they're leading independent lives. I don't believe locking them out of the center is good self-esteem.
Agreed.
It's rejection.
Yes.
It's insults. Yes. It's bad blood. That it was not her intention of this center. Her vision to provide the information, tools, and resources that empower and inspire people who are blind or visually impaired to achieve their full potential. How do they receive a full potential in this center if the very people that they're supposed to be serving cannot even speak on the board?
That's right.
Not even invited to the board meetings. Yes. How do they develop leadership skills if they're not allowed on the board and trained on the board? Not intimidated and told what to say, but to say what their needs are. Not the board member needs, the client needs.
That's right.
So let's remember Mrs. Myrtle Stevens Clark, who founded the Blind Center in 1949, what her vision and mission was for the blind individuals of San Joaquin County. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, San Juan.
She knew the value of social and recreational contacts, of mentoring, of networking, of the blind supporting and learning from each other. She's rolling over in her grave right now, seeing what has become of her mission and vision for the blind.
This is interesting, being that we're in 2023. Folks on the inside, administration, the board who may be meeting today, we didn't have the multimedia capabilities back years and years ago. But at this very moment, from my iPhone that I learned to use without vision, this is streaming out to, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 different places for people to see all around the world. So you're being seen by a lot of people all over the place. Your actions are being seen. You're being called out for who you are. And you can't hide behind those walls. You're known now. You're known for what you're doing. There are people all over the place watching these streams when they occur. They see the shame, shame, shame. They see you call the cops on peaceful blind protesters twice, acting like we're a threat to you. They see your lies. They see your slander. You can't hide. You're being watched all around the world, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. You won't be able to get away from this. It's time to change. It's time for the betterment of the blind community. It shouldn't be that the only time that bingo is said is when you win a Rotary check from the Rotary Club. No, it's time for change.
It's time for change.
It's time for change. It's time for change.
This board of directors that we have continually invited to interact with us is now coming to the building at no earlier than 1 p.m. today for their meeting, since they know we will be gone by then. They have changed their stated regular meeting time to avoid addressing our concerns, to avoid being faced with the naked truth of what is going on at the center. How long can they continue to ignore and minimize the blind? I know the director calls us simple, or if someone actually has a positive philosophy and expectations for themselves and asks why there are so many delays, why they're not getting the services they want, or wants to have input in their training plan, then they're high maintenance.
Correct.
They're shut down. Maybe their case will be reevaluated.
I can elaborate on that.
Yes.
Won't mention.
You want a mic?
Sure.
Because you're scratching it. Here, it's not on right now. I'll turn it on. There you go.
Thank you. All right, is this working? All right, thank you. So, as I said, I worked here as an assistive technology instructor for 6 months. I saw the inside. When I first got this job, I thought about moving to Stockton because, well, for the first time in my life, I was hired on and I wasn't told, oh, I'm going to trade you. Oh, thank you. There you go. Thank you. Oh, you can't see to read a cash register screen. Oh, you might slow us down. Our team is comprised of 40 and 50-year-olds for a job that involves unloading trucks. You might slow our team down. Hey, just because my eyes don't work doesn't mean I am incapable. Shoot, man. I do video editing, for crying out loud. And I love it. But while here, was excited. It was my first job. I'd looked for work for ever since I was 16 years old. Lived below the poverty level most of my life. No, it's still there. I got hired here, and I'll tell you what. Oh, thank you. I loved the work that I did. I loved hearing the positive rejoicing of clients when something came through to them. When they learned and they saw that they could actually do things again. We aren't incapable or incompetent or unintelligent simply because our eyes don't work. But yet a survey at one point stated that nearly 70% of individuals would rather lose a limb than lose their vision. And that many individuals had once stated that they would rather have 10 years taken off of their life than to lose their vision. You see how important vision is. But it's more than just eyesight. When you take the vision of a future away from those who don't have vision in their eyes, you ruin them. When people are driven, not high maintenance, but driven to get a job, driven to learn, driven to grow, but they're referred to as high maintenance.
Yeah. People
come into support groups referred to as simple. Support groups being monitored without notice. The individual, Elsie Harada, was in one, didn't announce herself. I didn't know she was there until she called me afterward and said, you did a great job facilitating that support group. But yet, folks, she tells others that my communication skills were poor and that's why I'm no longer working here. I'd like to clear that up because you've gone over 8 months not addressing these concerns. You couldn't even have the fortitude to be on camera when the news station came in to interview you, and all you said was we don't discuss personnel issues.
Right.
I'll tell you something. You're taking away a vision of a bright future to a community who needs that. In a world that typically either doesn't see us or rejects us when we come forward. And no, that's not a pity party. No, that's not playing victim. Yes, that's reality. And you shatter those dreams because of your actions.
And she continues.
And you continue and continue and continue. You berate and humiliate your staff. Elsie did it in front of me. I witnessed it. You did it on the phone. Referring to one of your staff as slow and takes a long time to get things done. I'll tell you what, that staff member knows a lot more about computers than you do, ma'am.
Yeah.
You ought to be honored to have him on your staff. But from what I saw while I was in there, you treat him like garbage. Garbage! You should be ashamed of yourself. The board should be ashamed of itself for letting this stuff happen. I had a client who voiced their concerns when an instructor left because of mistreatment. She was just drinking a cup of coffee with her mask down and she got yelled at for it. She had a master's degree in instruction and was a Braille instructor here. She knew her stuff.
Yeah.
She loved her job. But her experience was belittled. Her words to me, here at this center, and I had to look over my shoulder, but thankfully she had sight and told me that we weren't being listened to. Because that's how it goes here.
Yeah.
They are paranoid.
Yep.
They don't want co-workers to communicate with one another unless it has to do with their job. Unless you're one of the yes crew. This client told me that her Braille class was canceled without her notice. She didn't even know the instructor wasn't there, and she really enjoyed the teaching from that instructor.
So they basically let her come out for
That
nothing.
sounds like the Blind Center manager.
That's it. And what happened is that when she questioned it, when she spoke up, there was an intimidation attempt, and that if she continued that behavior, her case would be reevaluated.
Wow.
Listen, neighbors here, you've had to deal with 8 months of us protesting out here for your neighbors in suite number 5. We're sorry for any disruption that we've caused to you because that's not our intent. But you have a neighbor who doesn't live up to their mission. You have a neighbor that mistreats their clients, and it needs to stop. And we hope that one day this can come to a peaceful resolution so you all who haven't done anything to deserve this can have some peace.
Right.
But the reason you don't have peace is from the administration, from your neighbors in suite number 5. Talk to them about it.
There's a for rent or lease sign here in front of the building. I wonder who has left and why.
Agreed. It's time for change.
And then the director here is not just a director. She does case management. She's hogging all the blind jobs.
That's right. That's right.
So there's no appeal. If you have a problem with the case manager, do a complaint to the case manager / director about your concern. Do you take it above to the only other level, to the board president who is so deeply enmeshed in part of the problem? What kind of resolution, after you're shot down over and over, intimidated, bullied, and ignored, will you continue to bring concerns forth when they say, we have a board at Community Center for the Blind.org email address. We don't need public comment. We don't need interaction. Just send your concerns there. We still haven't got answers back from a town hall meeting in 2018 or board meetings with them, with our representatives in 2019, 20, or 21.
Or they could discard anything that's bullying to them.
Right.
Right.
They give the president free license to discard any communication she deems bullying or harassing without sharing it with the rest of the board. That's censorship.
So who can we complain against the board, the whole center? Nobody. Somebody has to help.
Department of Rehabilitation, although they say they don't have much to do with the inner workings of an agency, are totally culpable here because they fund over 2/3 of the budget here. They know the concerns we have brought to them. They continue to put interns or staff vulnerable to this toxic environment in here to work.
And
Clients in here to supposedly learn.
notice that, Jennifer, we did have meetings with Joe.
Correct. We started out trying to meet with the Blind Field Services Director, Joseph Stansel, who was over the local council, who was formerly the local council. We soon realized he would not be responsive because he is so deeply enmeshed with the people here.
That's right.
We tried to go to a higher level and did not get response from those supervisors at Department of Rehabilitation. The first contact finally from a new director of special services didn't happen until November of this year when we reached out in April. Now, who has the communication problems? I know Bob tried to share concerns about the Blind Center personnel, Elsie Harada, etc. with his DOR counselor. And the counselor said, oh, it must just be communication differences.
And here's something else, Jen.
It's abuse.
Some of the board representatives never even knew that I sent a resignation letter into the board email address. But what's interesting is when I received an email that said that the board has received your resignation letter, Elsie Harada's signature was at the end of that email that came from her email address.
Right, she forgot to log out and pretend she wasn't doing both.
That's right.
It's supposed to be confidential, HR matters, independent. The board is supposed to be over the director. There's no separation there.
That's right. No, there is not.
There are no protections for the employees here. If you read the handbook, it may or may not be from law, but every other legitimate blind center has protections. Every other legitimate business has protections for their employees.
That's right.
You're at will, you're disposable.
Shall we read the bullets that are highlighted?
Sure.
Oh, go for it. Would you like this megaphone?
It works. We just had a fire. I got close to it. Yeah, I guess I wasn't.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity to let me join you here in Stockton. I fully support the Stockton Center. I support these individuals who have taken their time every week to send their message out to the Stockton community. I want to read off their demands that are crucial and need to be met. They demand the revocation of the Stockton CCBVI's status of the 501c3 organization. It's crucial to hold them accountable to holding that 501c certification, and we need to investigate what that certification says that they should be living up to. Number 2, we want to participate in selecting new board members, a new president, treasurer, who are willing to invite and include input from the blind community. Number 1, that is super crucial. How do you serve people if you don't know them and you don't know their needs?
Representation matters.
That's right.
Number 3, ban harmful individuals that hurt the clients, that do not encourage good, high, positive self-esteem, do not encourage positivity. We want to remove certain people, such as Roy Patterson, from the community center. Number 4, conduct investigation of sexual misconduct within the organization. You do not turn a blind eye to those kind of things.
That's right.
Adopt proper grievance resolution processes. Without that, you have nothing. You have boycotts outside your building when you don't have a grievance resolution process in place.
Yeah.
One that works, one that is
Let me see
respected.
if the
Number 6, conduct
sometimes
an
that cable comes
independent
loose.
forensic financial
And,
audit of the CCBVI's finances.
okay, let me try to turn
We
this
want
around.
to know, the blind people want to know, what are you doing
Hopefully
with
it's
the money?
charging now.
How are the resources best
Thank
being used to serve the blind for the sale of our building from the past?
They deserve to know where that money is gone, where it's going to. Number 7, provide transparency, accountability, and timely responsiveness from the board of CCBVI. Not 5 months from now.
Yes.
Right.
Not 3 months from now. Not 2 weeks from now. Give them timely responses
Yes.
and live up to those promises.
Yes.
Provide quality services and opportunity for all ages of blind individuals. There are no children coming to the center, as far as I've seen as a parent. I've
I'm
never
the
seen.
youngest one.
Alicia, since you've been out here and you're sighted, have you seen anybody walk in that building?
Not one person has entered that center.
The youth get hardly any offerings except what Department of Rehabilitation says there might be money for. Then they try to come up with something to fit that bill to get the money, but it's not about the youth.
Right. And the youth has to be addressed.
Yes.
Last one, we demand security and inclusion for the blind of all San Joaquin County in this center.
Yes.
Amen.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. Nothing about us without us. 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 Those doors are locked, and COVID is no excuse. You need to stop the blind abuse. COVID's no excuse. You need to stop the blind abuse. COVID's no excuse. You need to stop the blind abuse. COVID's no excuse. You need to stop the blind abuse. The blind want more. Hurry up and lock your doors. The blind want more. Hurry up and lock your doors. The blind want more. Hurry up and lock your doors. The blind want more. Hurry up and lock your doors. The blind center called the cops. We don't care, we'll never stop. The blind center called the cops. We don't care, we'll never stop. Blind center called the cops. We don't care, we'll never stop. Blind center called the cops. We don't care, we'll never stop.
If you need proof of it, it's on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Right. Multiple times. We were well within our rights, exercising our First Amendment rights, but they can't stand for you to speak up and speak out. We are stronger together. We are here. We are the blind of San Joaquin County. We are those with the heart for the blind of San Joaquin County, and we will not go away until we get these changes.
Yeah.
Right.
Jennifer, do they have bilingual people inside to address the Spanish-speaking community?
Supposedly,
So what
some of the
happens to-
new employees they hired might be Spanish speaking also, but I don't have
They don't
any
know nothing.
evidence
They
that
don't know
they
nothing
are
about the
serving
compliance.
in that capacity.
Actually, before that, they would have one of the clients translate
Right.
from what you got scared of it.
They never did before. They would just try to grab somebody because they were Hispanic to do that service. You know, no offer of pay, no nothing, just an expectation because you can provide a service, you will do it.
I can elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah.
From the inside.
Here's that mic.
While I was working here, there was a really kind young lady who was an intern here, and she was given the task once the Braille instructor left to teach Braille and independent living skills. There was a Spanish-speaking client who was seeking services around the end of my time here before my resignation. Now check this out, folks. He had been trying to receive services from this place for 2 years. 2 years. He's someone who was trying to learn assistive technologies so he could get a job to take care of his family. 2 years.
Shame.
And so
Only 2 years.
this intern was a real sweet young lady. And she and I did a 3-way call with this potential client to talk with him. And she did the translating, but she had to take that out of her time for teaching Braille and independent living skills and things along those lines. And this is the way that it works here. They will say clients come first, but that's conditional.
They're nice.
Duties as assigned.
Yes, and you'll, even if there's something that falls outside of what you're hired for, there's a clause in your work contract that says, and other duties as assigned. So if they want you to clean toilets, they can technically ask you to do that.
Routinely, not as a rare occurrence
Correct.
of pitching in, and to pick the person that is blind to clean up feces and other hazardous materials in a bathroom because you think you're too good to do it or to hire someone to do it. Why not add that extra duty as assigned?
Now let me say this. You know, it's common decency, common courtesy towards your fellow human beings, although you don't look at us as such, to never ask someone to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. Don't expect a crew to go down with the ship when as its captain, you're going to jump out and take a life raft and let the others sink. Shame. Shame on that. The stuff needs to change. There needs to be proper accountability. There need to be proper policies and not disorganization. And I'll tell you what, it was disorganized while I was working there. I can't speak for now, but it was disorganized in there. There was clutter. There were boxes on the floor in different rooms. And if you had a minimal amount of sight and you were used to walking around without a cane, but you weren't able to see obstacles on the ground, It was a tripping hazard.
It's not designed with the blind in mind. They have this horrible, huge potted plant that leans way out into the aisle. There's a bunch of columns. Of course, when we have good mobility skills, we can navigate the columns. But no cane is going to tell you a plant is smacking you in the face.
Right.
But, how dare we ask the water dispenser to be moved to somewhere more convenient? How dare we ask the plant to be moved? You should just know it's there.
A problem that I have as well, and I have many problems with this place. I have my resignation letter. I don't know. I'll talk to you about that, Jim, about if I should post it out on Facebook.
Yeah.
Since it's not been acknowledged. However, the way that things go in here, from what I've seen, when one staff member walks away because of the toxicity, that's if it doesn't hospitalize them or something like that, which is, I was hospitalized because of the stress. The way that people are being treated. Having things blamed on me that was not my fault. Being gaslighted. A lot of psychological manipulation. And
every time I came here.
The stress kills.
The stress does kill. That's why I am now, and have been since April, on blood pressure medication and antidepressants, which I never took before. But on March 25th, coming home from work, paying $100 round trip to come up here to work remotely because of micromanagement. That day I left work, my face went numb. I could barely form sentences. I felt bad for that Lyft driver. We were stuck on 99. I'm a single father. I live in Modesto with my 2 boys. I got home and I could barely think. I had to contact their mom and ask her to take them. A neighbor came and talked to me and said, are you going to go to the hospital? I said, yeah, I'm going to call a Lyft. She said, no, you look like you need an ambulance. So about an hour and a half after returning home from community slaughterhouse for the blind,
Amen.
I called the ambulance. And the ambulance came. They took my blood pressure. It read 216 over 100. Work is not going to be stress-free, but it shouldn't be something that kills you. And I had to make a decision. After March 25th, I had to do some soul searching. And I made the decision to step back and go back down, back to 1/3 of what I was earning, thereabouts. And the struggle is real. I want to work. I don't want to be rich. I want a better life for my kids. I want a place that's healthy, not stress-free. You can't have that. That's idealistic thinking.
Right.
However, the stress that is caused from this place, the way they treat their clients, the way they treat their staff, is inexcusable and unacceptable.
Inexcusable.
And it needs to stop. And it needs to change, and accountability must be held. And we will not stop speaking until that happens. It's time for change.
SJRTD.
Be open, be kind, and listen to the blind. Be open, be kind, and listen to the blind. Be open, be kind, and listen to the blind. Be open, be kind, and listen to the blind. Fix the blind center. The blind deserve better. 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 They bully hard and lie. Defund CCBVI. They bully hide and lie. Defund CCBVI. They bully hide and lie.
is your level of vision?
I'm blind, totally blind.
Totally blind, no sight at all. And a man who carries a title, because many people only care about those titles, right? They can brag about their titles and make it look like there's something. Has a title for an organization whose purpose it is to serve the blind community in the San Joaquin Valley and surrounding areas. Did he come up to a woman who is totally blind?
Without announcing himself.
Without announcing himself, getting in her face and screaming and shaming her, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Anybody watching that? For those who might be watching the stream from the inside, if you're watching this and you're in the chat, if you think that's wrong, would you put a 1 in the chat for me, please? It's totally wrong. You get a 1 for me.
Hiding behind.
First, he waited till there were only 3 blind individuals and 1 senior citizen here. No cameras out that day. That's when he chose to come up and do it.
That's the way a coward works.
A coward.
I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
That is the way a coward.
What was his name?
Roy Patterson.
Roy Patterson.
Roy Cowardson?
There you
Roy
go.
Patterson. Roy
Shame.
Patterson.
He's been treasurer for over a dozen years. We want an audit. Where did the money go? We want an audit. Where did the money go? We want an audit. Where did the money go? We want an audit. Where did the money go? That's right.
Where did the money go?
Tell us where the money went. We want a new board president. Tell us where the money went. We want a new board president. Tell us where the money went. We want a new board president. Tell us where the money went. We want a new board president. Her name is Judy Howe. The Blind Center's really foul. Give a boot to Judy Howe. The Blind Center's really foul. Give the boot to Judy Howe. The Blind Center's really foul. Give the boot to Judy Howe. The Blind Center's really foul. Give the boot to Judy Howe.
The blind center's really foul. Hey, a question for you hiding behind those walls in there. See, we have the courage to be out here on the sidewalk, locked out by the ones who are afraid inside, who don't discuss personnel issues, and let this go on and let their neighbors have to deal with this for over 8 months. What's your success rate? What is it? You have old testimonials on your website. What's your success rate? We'd like an answer, considering that some of those out here on this sidewalk are still registered as clients for you. What is your success rate?
They don't have to do anything.
I'm a client.
No, I've had nothing to do with any client service since at least May of 2021. I haven't heard crap.
Same here. Myself.
Joe,
I have
when's the last time you were serviced here at Community Center for the Blind?
Damn. So long, I can't remember.
Before the pandemic?
Yeah, way before the
What
pandemic.
about you, San Juan?
What about you, San Juan?
Had anything.
I was asking to get caught for everything because I'm poor at it, and they have not done a damn thing about it.
Prevented me from engaging with anything other than buying watches and canes from the Blind Center due to possible legal improprieties having to do with the director who was using child pornography and arrested by the FBI. Over $500 in fake cash that was brought to a bank while Bonnie might or might not have still been in office, or maybe it was the person who replaced her. And all of the incidences that involve federal agencies disappeared. Apparently, there's either an official lawyer working for the Stockton Blind Center, or there is actually a board member that is a member of the Stockton Blind Center. We attempted to look for the board member who is possibly a part of the Stockton Blind Center to look for their bar license in the state of California. And there is no information about any of the board members on their website about what they do, who they are, where they come from, and where their basis for their position.
Why isn't that lawyer protecting the client?
Hey, I'm at a
Right. Or at
make
least
sales
advising
thing. I'll
them
call you
to
back in
stop
5
what they're
minutes.
doing and change their behavior because it opens up
Okay.
liability. They're so paranoid and frightened of liability. That's the justification they give for not accepting blind volunteers. Oh, well, with our insurance, we have liability. Do they think we're going to walk in the door and fall on the floor? I think they taught us better than that. There's no faith in the blind.
Would that make their, would he would have another action? No. He would have still been on their board.
Right.
There's
been no apology, no accountability.
nothing. You know, if it wasn't for my son being out here that day, who knows what would have happened?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I saying the treasurer, I said use his name.
Yeah.
I agree.
Department of
All right.
Rehab needs to
Thanks,
be
man.
held accountable also.
Yes.
Agreed.
Contracted by the city, the county, is probably functioning outside of the law, and they do not want to allow for an
We are no longer going to be your cash cow.
Cash who?
Cash cows. We are more important. We are human beings and not just money-making machines or drones for your disposal. It's time for your outlook to change. It's time for you to open the eyes of your soul and open up your heart if you have one. Look at people
You're
as
protesting.
human beings.
Protesting.
Stop trashing the community that you say you're supposed to serve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another package. What for? They don't have no clients.
will be made aware of your names and conduct based on available evidence. Will be held accountable, hopefully to the fullest extent of the law.
Agreed.
Thank you. Be open, be kind, and listen to the blind. Be open, be kind, and listen to the blind. Be open, be kind, and listen to the blind. Be open, be kind, and listen to the blind. Fix the blind center. The blind deserve better. 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 Your taxes, donations, support blind degradation. 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 We cannot encourage you to donate money to the Blind Center until things change. That is why we have a sign that says defund CCBVI.
That's right.
If the money dries up, will they listen then? That is not our intention, but what recourse do we have when they will not acknowledge, respect, or include the blind?
Right.
There is mismanagement. There is a lack of professionalism. There's definitely no transparency, accountability, or appropriate responsiveness. These things need to change. There should be no public faith in this organization until they do. And you can ask when that change happens. Ask the blind. Don't ask a brochure. Don't ask a smiling front for this hellhole. What goes on behind closed doors? Ask the blind.
Don't believe fluffy text.
It's time for Sacramento.
Yes.
Time for Newsom to stand up.
We need our assemblyman and our state senator to do something, at least with Department of Rehabilitation,
That's right.
to let them know this is not an appropriate place for your taxes, and your donations are funding it as well. You need to stop. That's the only thing they care about. So take that away from them until they change.
That's right.
You can reach out to us at 209-200-8589. Stockton Blind Alliance at gmail.com. Stockton Blind Alliance on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. If you have any questions or concerns, we are appropriately responsive. We try to be transparent and accountable. Our page is public. If anyone in here says they don't know about this, we have screenshots of them, the director, following our accounts.
I have it on my phone.
They unliked it after we called them out on this when they acted like they did not know. People were saying they had a toxic workplace. They did not know what these concerns were. We have met with them for years prior to the protest. They're all there in black and white. It's bull crap.
I always thought that she's not the problem. She said we had the problem with the previous director.
She was a problem under Michelle, and she continues to be a problem that has been well documented, brought to the board's attention, ignored, and we are still under the abuse, under the condescension, under the unprofessional conduct of this director, Elsie Harada. She needs to go. She's been here well over a year. One of the board members is trying to put her through some sort of leadership training course. You can't put glitter on a turd. It's still a turd.
Wonder if it's on Udemy.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen.
Yeah?
So you use the word wonder, right? I got this little comical chant that came to my head. They're acting like a bunch of giants squashing all their staff and clients.
Acting like
Yeah, here we go.
They're acting like a bunch of giants squashing all their staff and clients. They're acting like a bunch of giants squashing all their staff and clients. Acting like a bunch of giants squashing all their staff and clients. Acting like a bunch of giants squashing all their staff and clients. You can't, in good conscience, recommend people, even if the doors were open and services were going on. Prior to the pandemic, we could not recommend people come here as volunteers because we know how they're crapped on, chewed up, spit out.
Oh, yes.
Devalued. And oh my God, if they have an opinion, everything is so secret and paranoid here. They don't want people to stay long because they'll really see what's going on.
I don't know the story. I'm hoping I can get a hold of her. But the former administrative assistant who worked here was a very, very sweet person. I had some conversations with her while I was up here at the office physically. And she was trying to find a job to support her family like everybody else is doing. And she left. And the thing is, you know what happens when people leave? A new story is written. I walked in one day to hear Elsie talking to me about how, the former administrative assistant didn't do her job. When I was up here, I saw her working. I saw her working hard. But it's just like me. I no longer working here because my communication skills evidently suck.
But you quit. It's not like you were hired.
I did quit, and I believe that this administrative assistant quit as well. But check this out. I replied to my emails, and it didn't take me 8 months.
That's right.
But all the staff members and volunteers, none of them got fired or exited out. They exited out on their own.
They quit. They couldn't handle it anymore. Yes. This is a slaughterhouse, and Department of Rehabilitation funnels unqualified individuals in to replace them, saying, "Oh, we have a job for you. There's a job opening."
Right.
And they'll feed you this fluffy statement about.
So do they have a blind? Does anybody know? Do they have a Braille instructor?
The overcharge and
it says Fernando on the website. I've never met him.
But they do
not have an independent living skills instructor, a service which they are currently advertising and charging for.
So is Elsie doing that one too? Like I said, she's taking all the jobs that should be meant for a lot of us that want a job, but they don't want to work without jobs available because it's toxic and we don't want to be in a position.
That's right.
She can't even do one job well, so that is total disservice. Exactly. Also, She has no qualifications or background to do assessments or teach adaptive technology, but she has done this repeatedly. Make sure you get those dollars. It doesn't matter how you go about it, right? Is that the policy here?
Well,
Yes.
Seems like it.
in quoting her, apologize for the expletive in this. There are no kids around, right?
You're good.
No.
Okay. In her office one day, she made the statement, I'm a bitch and I've always been a bitch.
That's why she got hired.
That's a lack of professionalism. You shouldn't talk to anybody like that in a professional level.
It's intimidation.
It is
as well.
intimidation. Precisely.
Wait, so she actually said the word
She
bitch?
said, yeah, she
Yes.
said those
And
things.
I get in trouble when I follow my butt and say fuck because it fucking hurts. Excuse my language there. I didn't even say it twice, but
Right.
hey,
It's hypocrisy. It is quite.
it is.
Hypocrisy is alive and well.
And then,
yes.
and then previous director
Fire brimstone.
said that because you know how we
Lisa,
want
would you
people.
like this?
Yeah. Check with the house.
He's like, yeah.
So the previous director, we had asked. No, I forgot what it was going to say.
Michelle Mills, Mazzilli, Galvan.
Michelle Mills.
She went through all those names.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. So all of us are part of different organizations, and the other thing was we had asked if someone could be on the board. So she said, Michelle Galvin said no because it's a conflict of interest. So I did wanted to share that. Some of us, like I said, are part of different organizations. Myself, I'm part of National Federation.
Right.
We
We asked
like
Judy
an FD
Howell.
in there.
Yes.
Yes.
We asked Judy Howell if there was any conflict of interest to be an NFB member and apply to be on this board. And she said, well, we do have confidentiality concerns. I said, are you saying blind people can't maintain confidentiality? That's not what I said. But the
Yes, it
attitude
is.
has not changed. The door is not open. And that's exactly what she said.
That's right.
And then your director here is in the at-large chapter. And
Wait.
she is a NFB member.
I have a
So
question.
what does everyone think about that?
I have a question. This is supposed to be a nonprofit organization, correct?
Correct.
So how do they have confidentiality issues if they're nonprofit? Everything's supposed to be out in the open.
The books should be
I'm
open.
good. I'm good.
Right.
Yes.
They are so delighted to share that they're not subject to the Brown Act because of the Sunshine Clause. But why would you not take every effort to be as transparent as possible? People like to support transparency.
That's right.
This has been
in California sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Noticed that since I've been and signed up as the beginning of the century, maybe 20 years ago. You know,
Yeah.
ever since then, there've been nothing but problems. Every time I've ever talked to them in the last 20 years,
Yes.
never a sighted person except for a couple that did not. Oh, thank you.
You're right, San Juan. I started here as a client in the summer of '99. We got to the board about personnel in 2003, in 2015, in 2018. No change. No respect for the blind. It doesn't matter if you have no qualifications. The director prior to this one, Michelle, I think she was a volunteer coordinator for Delta Blood Bank and a hairdresser. She had no HR background. She definitely did not have the appropriate people skills. She came in following, tiptoeing around behind blind clients, eavesdropping on them, trying to smash herself against the wall to not be detected, crying, saying, I should leave, I should quit. How is this professional behavior?
Wait.
We're supposed to take this person seriously.
You know what that sounds like to me? This is just speculation. But it sounds like some people got together and said, hey, you want to make some money? We know an idea. Let's take over this organization for the blind.
Let's do fix the blind.
You don't have to. Yeah, let's do it. Ready?
Yep.
Fix the Blind Center! The blind deserve better! Fix the Blind Center! The blind deserve better! Fix the Blind Center! The blind deserve better! Fix the Blind Center! The blind deserve better!
Your taxes,
Donations! Support blind advocacy!
donation. Your taxes, donation, support blind degradation. Your taxes, donations, support blind degradation. They bully, hide, and lie. Defund CCBVI. 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 And one more, nothing about us without us. 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 Blind respect you never showed. Till Harada hit the road. Blind respect you never show. Till Harada hit the road. Blind respect you never show. Till Harada hit the road. Blind respect you never show. Till Harada hit the road. As we said at the beginning of the broadcast, we have been out here 8 months weekly protesting, ignored by the administration and staff, except a few canned statements to the media, a few disparaging remarks, calling the police multiple times on peaceful, law-abiding blind protesters,
Right.
and the treasurer, Roy Patterson, screaming up in my face. That is not appropriate.
No.
What we sent an email a few days back asking the president to actually let all the board members know, make sure everyone on the board is aware of our concerns, our petition, our 578 signatures, and the opportunity to update us. You know, do they like the protesting going on? They must, because they continually ignore it. We are not adding new demands all the time. The concerns are the same, but they have not been addressed. That's why we continue to be out here. We said to let them know we would be here from 11 until at least 12:30 p.m. if they wanted to update us, address any concerns, to let every member make sure they had our contact information for Stockton Blind Alliance. Because somebody has to want this to stop. I'm sure the neighbors want it to stop.
What did they do about that meeting?
And what they did about the meeting is they changed the time to 1 o'clock or so just now to make sure they could try to avoid the confrontation, to avoid conflict. We are not trying to conflict them. We are trying to make ourselves available to be heard, respected, represented, and included as we have all along. How does this make you feel? The blind are a super minority, but we should not be ignored, minimized, and driven into the ground, ignored, stomped on. You say that you are here for the betterment of the blind. You better reread that mission statement. You better put on those glasses for that vision statement, because we are not seeing it here. There's no self-esteem.
That's right.
We have been beaten down for years, but we are stronger together. We finally had the courage to stand up, and we will not go away.
Hey, Jen, this isn't the first time they've rescheduled, is it? Can you elaborate on the story about what they put onto that church that didn't deserve it? Tell the public, tell the viewers around the world watching on about 6, 7, 8 different social media platforms about what they did a couple months ago.
Yeah, so October 28th, the Blind Center was going to hold their 4th annual Dining in the Dark event at Presentation Church. This had been publicized on the website. Apparently the sales weren't that great because a lot of communications came out about it trying to sell tickets. We, like I said, had tried to meet discreetly, confidentiality, behind doors with them for years. We finally went public with a letter to the editor in August 2021. This escalated to public protests in May, which were ignored. We decided we were going to make a statement to make sure the supporters of this organization knew there were unaddressed issues. So we planned a protest in front of that fundraiser at Presentation Church. A day or two before the protest, which we transparently, as always, published publicly on social media, someone called and canceled that location, decided to have the fundraiser here with including staff, volunteers, and whoever, roughly 24 or less people who actually attended, and they had it here instead.
They did not warn the church of the protest they knew was going to happen there. They did not tell the public. There were volunteers that showed up there looking, because they probably Googled it to see where they were supposed to show up. They showed up at the wrong location as well. The poor priest came out and very transparently and accountably wanted to know what we were protesting, what the concerns were. Now, the Blind Center will probably try to hold a function there again. Hopefully, they will be denied because of what they put the priest and the other people through. There were some wonderful people there who stopped. You know, we have streams of that eating. There were people that cared, stopped, and listened to our concerns. We explained it had nothing to do with the church, that we were protesting Community Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired, the abuse, the mismanagement, and the lack of inclusion of the blind. And that is really crappy to do to a poor church, to any other agency, to let your load fall on them because you don't want to be held accountable. You don't want to face the problems. Well, it is out there, and you need to change. You need to meet with us. You need to actually address these concerns. Let people heal and move on. It's not positive, positive, positive. Moving forward. Some favorite quotes from Michelle, the last director. What are you moving forward from? She would give us assignments for months to put together a program, how many paid hours, and then when we presented it, we're going in a new direction now. I think we went in so many new directions, it was like a friggin' weather vane spinning. She didn't know what she was doing, much less Elsie Harada, the replacement. We need a quality, qualified candidate. As the director, we need fresh blood on the board of directors. We need blind people included in the board of directors. And we need accountability with public comment to the public. We need the inclusion of all stakeholders in turning this place around before it runs into the ground.
That is right. It's a shame what's going on in this place because it has the potential to help people. But right now, this place is not full of nutrient soil that can be used to grow healthy plants. There's no sunlight here because it's drowned out by darkness. It's time for it to change. It needs to stop.
Go ahead, Mr.
All I was going to say is, as I've said before, though it's been miscommunicated and lied about, surprise, surprise, all the lie. We're not trying to sink the ship. It's time for change. The staff need to be appreciated. They shouldn't have to live in fear because of the at-will clause, right?
Yes.
That
the toxic environment, the lack of trust, the micromanaging, the piling on and the throwing under the bus. Who would want to work here except someone who is stuck here or someone who really had a heart for the mission, and they take advantage of that. The director is pulling in $75,000 a year for what? Right. How much of your taxes and donations are going to so few services and nothing for the general clientele of San Joaquin County? Why can't you use the space for social programs? We have volunteers, we have people. You don't want youth here, you don't want people here because they see what actually goes on and can report back and add to the cause.
You talk about advocacy, but when you're stood up to, it's not okay. Shame on that.
Shame on the board from the Stockton Blind Center.
Right.
These individuals have been guilty of crimes, at least for 20 years that I'm aware of.
If you want to find those names of those board of directors, officers, members, if you want to pray for the staff, they are all listed on the About Us page on communitycenterfortheblind.org. The director, Elsie Harada. The person who's the glorified bookkeeper, Sarah Bennett. The board president, Judy Howell. The board treasurer, Roy Patterson. The board's secretary, Sheila Patterson, no relation, same mental disease of not caring about the blind. And some others. The others are the unknown to us. How much have they been sheltered from? But what conscience do they have to do something about the rest? We would give them the benefit of the doubt if they will get rid of those problematic people and work with the blind. We are willing to serve. We are willing to find quality candidates for your board or serve as those candidates. We are willing to work with volunteer and support until a quality candidate for director can be found. But Elsie Harada needs to go.
Yes.
How many incidents do you have to cover up? You know, it's not a good look.
No, I do want to say I want to give all props up to. I want to say I want to give. There's one original blind staff here. I don't want to disclose his name. I don't want to get him in trouble. But keep it up. I don't know how you're standing in there, but a lot of us praise you, and I know you have a family to support, and you know. I hope one day you decide to leave and get a better job and have someone to appreciate you.
You deserve better.
We're here for you. We want support for you. We want you to stay here and keep blessing people with your skills, services, and heart for the blind. If you can't, we understand why.
Your heart is in it. And you've been here since day one. All the stuff you've been through, we're here for you. The love is here for you. We're here once a week. We know we can't disclose your name, but you know who you are.
Some of the people are so new, they may not have experienced this yet, but anyone that's been here a year or 6 months even, we know is well aware of the stress, of the lack of trust, of the micromanagement.
Right.
This is a toxic workplace. There is workplace bullying that goes on constantly here.
There is.
And it needs to change. It is not good fiscal management to have this toxic workplace. It cuts down on productivity. It cuts down on the atmosphere of positivity that draws in supporters and donations from the public. And you, at the top, the buck stops there, probably in your pocket.
Right.
But the buck stops there. You have the accountability. Now, we know these are problematic people, the treasurer, the president, the director. They need to go. We've had no evidence that they will change.
You go with them.
Yes. Right. Stand with the blind or fall with the center.
Jennifer, out of the 9 bullets, out of the nine issues that you have listed in your petition description, which one, if you only could choose one, that you stand behind and why?
We want the removal of the president, the treasurer, and the executive director, and quality candidates found with the vetting of the blind community to change the atmosphere here from the top down. That would include a secondary of blind representation on the board of directors who supposedly rule over the director.
So you feel that this center can't move forward until they get new blood, because as of now they haven't been able to prove themselves that they're capable of continuing as they are, so they need new board members.
They've been found wanting.
Okay. Lisa, out of the 9 demands that you guys are making, which is more important to you other than the one that Jennifer just mentioned?
Bring back all clients from babies and blind parents, and hopefully once everything what Jennifer said is resolved, maybe in the future get a better building. And you know, we want to be around other individuals that are afraid to be blind, and other parents to let their families. Yeah, I'll take that book. Other parents to let their loved ones be the challenge to be blind and get to know us and let them know, don't be scared to be blind.
So you want parents and their children, not just blind adults, but you want families to feel free and comfortable to come here and know that they will be serviced.
Yes.
Joey, who would be one of yours has the full heart?
I haven't read any of them.
No, just out of heart, other than what they brought up, what would you bring up?
I want them to
I want them to respect everybody the way they want to be treated. Don't treat us like trash no more.
That's right.
Show us respect.
That's right.
You want respect, you show us the respect.
And Bob, of the demands that they're making, what is your most important one?
Oh my.
All good.
Yeah, they're all good. But I'm trying to remember them all because my mind goes in 1,000 directions. But let me say this. The staff and the clients deserve better. They should be able to freely express their grievances without the fear of being reevaluated or intimidated. They shouldn't have to live in fear. Freedom for the clients and staff.
Okay. Sounds like just basic respect.
Yep.
Between sighted and unsighted people within that center.
Yes.
Acceptance of who you are and
What you
servicing the blind because the center is for the
I
blind.
know, right here.
I know. They're going to look for me in a minute.
With no problem.
There's a white
RTV's just
van,
pulling up
RTV
right here.
van right here.
She said there's a bunch of protesters. She didn't know who.
Oh.
Yeah.
The power button. I just
Okay.
press it once
You're
or
right,
hold
Bob.
it down.
Got it.
Okay. You want to say a closing statement?
I sure can.
Okay.
Thank
yeah,
you
yeah.
to all, Alicia, Joe, Cliff, Gustavo, everyone that has come out today. Those are some special supporters. We have blind members. We have family, friends, advocates, and allies. And we can't do this without you because we are dedicated, but we are a super minority. Please continue to help amplify blind voices for change, for a better place, and better service and treatment for the blind of the greater San Joaquin County area. We are Stockton Blind Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you, volunteer. Thank you. Thank you.
Bob?
What I'll say is for those who are watching, because they're in the center, this is being watched literally all around the world. How does it feel to be known around the world? Unfortunately, it's not good PR.
The wrong side of history.
However, for those watching, if you are blind or you see an agency, it doesn't matter whether there's blindness or other disabilities, you see mistreatment of people, there are others who are out there who see it too. It takes one spark to start that fire. You can make change as well. But if the change isn't coming, then like my fiance Lori says, you got to be that change. Make that change. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, Stockton Blind Alliance. You can call or text at 209-200-8589 or email us at stocktonblindalliance@gmail.com. Be checking the description later on or check our Facebook page for the petition link. But I will make sure that is out there and you can sign that petition. You don't even have to be here in California to lend your voice. You can hear the stories out here, and if you've been impacted by them, sign that petition. That can help. You can help to lend your voice virtually or in person at these weekly protests. If you're able to do it in person, watch our Facebook page for upcoming events. Come and join us at 2453 Grand Canal Boulevard, Suite number 5, Stockton, California 95207.
And also tell them if they have a story. If they have a story, they can tell us too, Bob.
And if you have a story, reach out to us. Your voice deserves to be heard.
Yes.
Okay, we're taking your mic.
Okay, there you go.
Jennifer,
You can end it.
All
right. I got this part. Go ahead and end your video.
All right, hon, I think we're good to wrap up.
Thank you, Bob.
We're good to wrap up.